Shivangi, please start. We are live. You're on mute, Shivangi. Can you please unmute yourself and start?
Thank you. So, good evening, everyone. Welcome to this Monday special webinar series on TPO. Today is the second webinar of this series on decoding CENTA International TPO Social Science. As many of you all know, this will be happening every Monday and will be specially focused on the CENTA TPO. We have many more webinars coming in the next few weeks for different subject tracks, so stay tuned. I am Shivangi. I'm a senior associate here at CENTA and I'll be a facilitator for today. Along with me, there'll be Shruti, who is the lead of the learning products team at CENTA, and she will be my co-facilitator for today.
Hello, everyone. Good evening.
Thank you, Shruti. So I can see that a lot of you are joining from different parts of the country, and it would be great if you all could quickly enter your school, your name, and the city where you're from in the chat box. And Shruti, it would be great if you could read out a few of them.
So we have Manpreet ma'am joining us from SNS Faridabad, Roli ma'am from Delhi, DPS Varanasi. Then I have Ekta ma'am from Shivnadar Faridabad. I have Professor Manavalan from Tiruchirappalli, Tamil Nadu. Then we have Dalbir Kaur, who has joined us from, I'm not sure where, I don't see the place. Then Vinita ma'am from Chettinad, Vinita ma'am from Chennai. Great, awesome. So many
Okay,
people.
thank you. I'm so excited to see so many of you all here today. So, as many of you might know, that the first edition of the CENTA TPO was held in 2015, and we are proud to say that we are currently on our 8th year and the 8th edition of the CENTA International TPO. So, the reason TPO was started was because CENTA is fundamentally about creating reward, recognition, and career growth opportunities for teachers. However, when you look at something like career growth, it happens over a larger period of time, and that is why we wanted something that would lead to immediate reward and recognition for teachers. And the purpose of the TPO was to have an annual competition where teachers could come together on a large scale forum and showcase their competencies and get rewarded and recognized for the same. We have been fortunate to have partners like Reliance Foundation and Educational World over the years who have been supporting us in rewarding and recognizing these teachers. So in today's webinar, we will be covering an overview of CENTA's International TPO, details of the prelims, the format, the marking scheme, the competencies covered. We'll be unpacking CENTA TPO social science using sample questions, and this will be the main focus of our session today. And we'll also be going over how you can prep for the CENTA International TPO 2022. So, CENTA TPO actually started in 2015 with teachers coming from 7 cities, and in 2019 we saw teachers coming from 75 cities in 2 countries. And here today, 2022, we are fully online and international. We started with 9 subject tracks in 2015, and today we have 34 subject tracks. We've also had new subject tracks like primary school EVS, Hindi language and co-curricular, and more. Specifically, let's go with the tracks that we have in social science. So there is middle school social studies, secondary school history, secondary school geography, senior secondary geography, and senior secondary economics. For today's session, we will be covering middle school social studies, history, and geography, and there will be a separate webinar later solely for economics. So from 2015 to 2020, the CENTA TPO saw only multiple choice questions. But today we have MCQs, a combination of multiple choice questions plus videos. The TPO is fully online. It's a 2-stage process. We have prelims up to December 31st, and the finals will be held in February 2023. It is international. Anyone from any part of the world can take it, as this is curriculum agnostic. It's a 2-hour prelim test it's a 2-hour test for the prelims. So there are 50 MCQs plus 2 short videos that you'll have to record. I would now like to invite Shruti to quickly tell us about CENTA's partners over the years, the TPO partners over the years.
Thank you, Shivangi. I'm delighted to share with all of you the partners of CENTA TPO, International TPO 2022. Some of them have been with us for years now, since the inception of TPO. So, very grateful for all of our partners. Our partners so far are this year are Reliance Foundation, which is also the presenter of this initiative in association with Education World. So Reliance Foundation and Education World are our primary partners. We also have Oxford University Press and University of Buckingham as additional partners. I would also like to introduce some of our other partners in this initiative now. So as you can see, over the years, we have had Bharti Foundation, Think Startup, Central Square Foundation, Firki, Michael and Susan Dell, Lenovo, Key Education Foundation, Pearson, T4, The Hindu, Barkey Foundation, HCL, to name a few. All the partners may bring with them interesting prizes and rewards, some of which are also listed in the screen. The Reliance Foundation Teacher Awards are given every year to the winners of CENTA TPO with a cash awards worth 30 lakhs. And I also want to inform though that this award, which is the Reliance Foundation Teacher Award, is Shivangi, can you mute yourself, please? There is a disturbance. So
Yes.
the Reliance Foundation Teacher Awards, which is given every year, is restricted to the India participants, but all the other awards are available to all the winners. We also have premium training opportunities from Oxford, Buckingham, and CENTA itself. Oxford also has training programs affiliated with Oxford University. Buckingham has projects where winners will get the opportunity to be mentored on a short research project by professors from Buckingham, along with a certificate of teaching excellence. CENTA also provides discounts on training products. So as you can see, there's a bunch of different professional development and growth opportunities available in terms of the prices and the benefits that have been included this year. Coming to education world, that's a special kind of reward or award that's a part of TPO, which is a lot of things that teachers we have heard teachers telling us that no one publicly acknowledges their work, even though their students are aware, their faculty members, maybe their school recognizes it. In a public forum, it's not recognized. So that's what education world is bringing. Education World will be providing media recognition for winning teachers and schools with the maximum number of winners. We also actively showcase winners from B.Ed colleges to schools in the community so that these teacher students also get excellent career opportunities. Also, winners will receive digital badges, certificates, and a fully confidential scorecard. So that's the special thing about TPO. So unless you have registered on behalf of your institution or you are representing your institution, your scorecard is fully confidential and it's personal and it's available only to you. It's up to you how you want to use it or share it with anyone. So in a nutshell, this is what, just a second, can you mute yourself? In a nutshell, this is what Center TPO is about. To reward, recognize, thank you, to reward, recognize, and celebrate the teaching profession. We are very thankful that a large number of our partners, be it corporate, government, legends like Lara or Harvard professor Fernando Reimers, who have been supporting this initiative over the years. Also for teachers like many of you who have been participating year after year, we are very, very grateful for the support and grateful that we are able to bring an initiative like this to the teaching profession. Back to you, Shivangi. On that note, I hand it back.
Thank you so much, Shruti. I will now quickly give you an overview of the TPO prelim format. So the TPO prelims have 50 MCQs and 2 videos, and the whole set is for 100 marks. There are multiple choice questions, and there'll be 50 questions there for 75 marks. And then you will have video assessment where you have 2 questions for 25 marks. So in the multiple choice questions, you will have subject expertise questions, pedagogical content knowledge or an assessment of your teaching practices, professional competencies and communication skills. And in video assessments, you will have subject-specific verbal evaluation, and the other video submission will be about subject-agnostic verbal evaluation. So for today's session, we'll be focusing on subject expertise questions and pedagogical content knowledge questions. We'll be doing an analysis of such questions that come in the TPO prelim. Here is a brief, quick overview of again the format of the paper, and you can see this is the platform where you'll be taking the prelim. And this is again the format of the verbal communications, and this will actually happen on Zoom breakout rooms, and you'll be joining a meeting room and then completing the test. So now let's get started with some of the sample TPO questions. And here's how we're going to do it. We will be looking at 5 sample questions across history, geography, and civics. For each of these questions, you will be actually logging into Mentimeter to answer each of these questions. And then we will be going over the correct answers for these questions and also the insights for the correct answer and insights for the incorrect answers. So let's get started. So before we get started, I want everyone to log on to www.menti.com and enter this passcode. It's only when you do this that you'll be able to answer the questions, and this will make the session fun and interactive for you. This has also been posted on the chat box. So quickly, it'd be great if everybody could log in, and then we'll move on. I hope everybody is logged in. Once again, please go to www.menti.com and enter this passcode. So our first question for today, it's a subject expertise questions, and the first 2 questions that we will be covering right now will be subject expertise questions. So this question is from middle school social science, and the topic is on Earth, motions of the Earth. So the first question is, the change in season on Earth is most dependent on the tilt of the, option A, tilt of the Earth's axis, the shape of the Earth's orbit, distance of the Earth from the Sun, and orbital speed of the Earth around the Sun. So we have 3 people answered. Now we want more people to answer and participate. Okay, a lot of you are going for option B. Okay, there's a, okay, now there's no A. Okay, 11 people have answered. It would be great if we could have more responses. Okay, it's going up. Oh, A and D are at a tie. Okay. Okay. So thank you. Thanks to everyone who's answered. Now let's go back to see which is the correct answer and why is the correct answer the correct one, why is the incorrect answer the incorrect one. Thank you everyone who had attempted this question. So the correct answer to this question is option A, which is the tilt of the Earth's axis. So as we all know, the Earth's axis is tilted with respect to its orbital plane. So when the Earth's axis is tilted towards the Sun, it is summer in that hemisphere, which means the area of the Earth which is facing the Sun has summer in that hemisphere. And when the axis is pointed away, it is winters in that area. Now let's see why option B was incorrect. It's because the Earth's axis is tilted again with respect to this orbital plane, and this is what causes the season. So it's the tilt of the Earth's axis which causes the season rather than the orbital plane. Let's see why the third option is incorrect. So the seasons on the Earth depends on the amount of sun rays received by that part of the Earth, which again depends on the tilt. A lot of you had opted for option D, which is close, but this is not the factor that change in season is most dependent on. So orbital speed of the Earth determines the rate at which seasons change. But then in this question, as we can see, the change in season on Earth is most dependent on the factor A, which is the tilt of the Earth's axis. So thank you everyone who had answered. Let's move on to our next question. And again, I would request you to go back to Mentimeter. Again, log on to www.menti. You can go back to the same tab. It will be visible there. And please enter the same passcode. Okay, let's come to the next question. Which of the following is not true about the peace treaty at Versailles at the end of World War One? This is again a subject expertise question from secondary history and in the topic of World War. So option A, loss of some of its territories and overseas colonies by Germany, demilitarization of Germany by the Allied powers to weaken its powers. C, Germany was forced to pay for the war damages to the United Nations. And D, occupation of the resource-rich Rhineland by the Allied powers. Okay, well, we have 6 people who answered till now. It'd be great to see more responses. Let's go back to our, whoever's not a history teacher here, let's go back to our class 10 history that we had studied. Okay, we have 12 people who responded. Okay, a lot of people have opted for option C, as I can see here. Okay. A few more responses, please. Okay. Now let's see which is the correct answer, and let's get to the insights of this question. So the correct answer to this question is option C, which most of you all opted for. So although Germany had to pay war damages to the Allied powers, the United Nations was not involved in it at all, because the United Nations, as we all can recall, was only established after World War II. Let's see why option A was incorrect. It's because Germany was forced to give up its land as a part of the treaty. Germany also had to demilitarize according to the treaty. And Germany also had to give up Rhineland, which is a resource-rich area, which is rich in coal, and it had to give it to France. So with that, we come to the end of the subject expertise questions, and now we'll move on. Next 3 questions will be subject-specific PCK questions, which will either be on content development or student assessment. I will now again request you all to go back to Mentimeter. I hope everyone's there. Let's see the question. Okay. So this question is again middle school social science. It's from the topic democracy. It's a subject-specific PCK question, pedagogical content knowledge question. Mr. Jeevan is teaching his students about features of a democratic government. Which of the following exercise will require the students to apply this concept? Now, keep the keyword is highlighted here. You can see it's in capital. Apply the concept. Let's try to give this question a try. Whoever has not studied political science or civics also. Okay, we have quite a mix here. Okay, they're all at a tie. A few more responses, please. Okay. Okay, thank you. Thank you, everyone. Let's see which is the correct answer. But before we actually move on to that, as you all saw, there was actually a keyword in this question, which was apply. Now let's revisit something most of us might be familiar with, which is the Bloom's taxonomy. So the Bloom's taxonomy is a classification of different objectives and skills that a teacher sets for their learner. Now, typically in a CENTA TPO paper, we have questions coming from the first 3 levels of the Bloom's taxonomy, which is remembering, understanding, and applying. So just let's quickly go through this. So remembering is basically recalling of facts, citing the definition of a concept. Understanding is mostly test how well you've understood a concept, and the verbs which is commonly associated with such a question is identify, classify, or differentiate. Then coming to application base is basically how a student takes a concept and applies that in different contexts, in different scenarios. And So these are the three levels we have. Now let's see how the next, what's the correct answer for the next question. So yes, as most of you all had opted, this is the correct answer. Students will apply the concept of democracy with the exercise A. This is because first students have to understand the given country's characteristics. They then have to go back to what they had understood uh, from democracy and apply that knowledge, and then come to the conclusion whether the given country's characteristics is democratic or non-democratic. The second option is a closed choice, but it is a lower level skill because this is something you can also do through recall. This option C is completely pure recall based question. It's a pure recall based exercise. And the option D is not really aligned to the theme of this lesson. And also this is at a more, it's a higher level because here students have to create something. So it is at a higher level of the Bloom's taxonomy. Okay. Now this was, like I said, a middle school social science, features of a democracy, subject specific PCK question. Let's move on to the next question. And again, I would request you to go back to Mentimeter. I hope everybody is logged in. Okay. Now I'm going to give you a little bit more time to answer this question. This is a middle school social science question on the topic of weather. So Miss Nandini wants to teach the objective. Students will be able to explain reasons for rainfall in coastal Kerala during monsoon. So which of the following concepts are necessary as a part of the first lesson on this topic to achieve this objective? Number one, latent heat of condensation. Number two, convection. Number three, wind pattern of the Indian subcontinent. And number four, relief features of Western Ghat. I'm going to give everyone a little more time to answer this, and I would encourage everyone to participate and attempt this. Waiting for more responses. Okay. I see that options C and D are at a tie. Few more responses, please. It's okay. Just please just try to attempt this question. Okay, we have okay. C and D are at a tie actually, and so are A and B. Okay, so let's see which is the correct answer. Okay, so here's the question again, which is from middle school social science weather, and it's a subject specific PCK question. So, while beginning a lesson on a new topic, teachers often focus their instruction on the most essential concept that the students must know to get a firm grasp of the topic and before they move on to the more details of the topic. So, this question actually tests the teacher's ability to focus on the minimum requirement of a particular topic. So, you have questions like these coming in the TPO. So option 3 is the correct answer, and let's see why is option 3 correct answer and why the rest are incorrect. It's because the students need to know the wind pattern of the Indian subcontinent, the wind pattern during the monsoons, and the relief features of the Western Ghats, because they are such that the coastal area forms a windward side and it leads to rainfall in that region. Now coming to condensation. So condensation is again with respect to relief rainfall, it will be more relevant in the later lessons. when we explain relief rainfall to them. And convection currents are set up by difference in temperature at lower level, which is not entirely relevant to this context. So thank you for everyone who had answered this question. It was a tough one. Let's move on to the next question. So I would request you all to go back to Mentimeter. Okay. So let's come to the next MCQ. Mr. Yadav asked his students to research and write a short note on what was the main reason which led to the civil disobedience movement. He then wanted to use the submitted assignments for assessment as learning. So what would be the most relevant question for him to ask? Option A, what were the sources you had read before deciding the main reason? Option B, write a short note on why your argument is the most relevant. Option C, what was the impact of the civil disobedience movement? And option D, what was your thought process in deciding the reason? I think this question will make us recall or go back to what we had previously studied on the different forms of assessment, the purposes of different assessments. So go back to that and then answer this question, and I'll give you a little more time here. We have 9 responses till now, expecting more. Okay, option C till now has been voted as the correct answer by many. Expecting more responses. Okay, option C is still being as the voted as the correct answer by many. Okay, let's see if we can get more than 30 responses for this question. And then we'll move on to the correct answer. Think of this question and think of what is assessment as learning. Okay, we've crossed 30. Any more? Anybody else willing to respond? Okay, so now let's go to let's see the correct answer to this question. But before that, we have a small learning nugget for you. And before we move on to the correct answer, let's just take a step back and try to recall the different types of assessment and what is the purpose behind each of these assessment and how are each of these different. So assessment of learning is basically your grade-based assessment or your summative assessment like exams or final projects. So they have a concrete grade attached to them, and they are actually meant to communicate the students' achievement to them, to their parents, to the teachers. Now, assessment for learning is basically provides you with a snapshot of students' understanding of a concept or a topic as you are teaching, and helps you tailor your instruction, your lesson plans accordingly. Now, assessment as learning, which we saw what the question was testing. Now, assessment as learning is different because here you are actively involving student in the learning process. Now, how is that? You are doing that through self-assessment or peer assessment. So students self-assess or peer assess their own work, and through this they're actually building critical thinking and problem-solving skills. And students actually through this try to measure their own progress engage their own progress in a particular topic or a concept, and how well they have understood that. So now let's move on to, I hope you all now you have a better understanding of the different types of assessments. So now let's move on to the correct answer for our final MCQ. So again, I'll repeat the question again. Mr. Yadav asked his students to research and write a short note on what was the main reason which led to the civil disobedience movement. He then wanted to use the submitted assignments for assessment as learning. So what would be the most relevant question for him to ask students? Now this is again a subject-specific PCK from senior secondary history on the topic of nationalism in India. And the correct answer is option D. Which now, why is that the correct answer? Because this question actually, now we're asking, we want to use this assignment assessment as learning. So this is the question which actually helps them reflect on their own thinking and why they picked a particular reason. And this is where assessment as learning is involved. Now, why was option A incorrect? It's because this question would only make them list the pre-work they did before the assignment and not really reflect on the assignment that itself. Write a short note on why argument is the most relevant. This would be incorrect because this would only make the students take a stronger stance on what they've already said and not reflect on their answers or how they have approached this assignment. What was the impact of the civil disobedience movement, which a lot of you opted for? This would not be very relevant to the assessment question because this is not being assessed in this assignment. This is a topic which comes after, what is the main reason of the civil disobedience movement. So, as you can see, question D is the one which really helps, which is the purpose of this would be assessment as learning. So with that, we come to the end of the first section of our, which is the first section of the TPO Prelim, which is the MCQs. We have discussed 5 MCQs across subject expertise and pedagogical content knowledge. Now let's come to the second part, which is the videos. So we'll be going over 2 examples of subject-specific verbal evaluation, and this is what it looks like. I'll read this out to you. So this is your question. Imagine you're a middle school social science teacher and you have to introduce a topic in your next lesson. How would you introduce this topic in the most effective way to your students? Pick any one topic from below. So number 1, and this is from geography, the number 1, condensation, number 2, maps and layers of the earth. So you will have to actually pick any one of them and, accordingly think about your video and go ahead with it. Now, this is again an example of subject-specific verbal evaluation, and this is from history. The question is, imagine you're a senior secondary history teacher and you have to introduce a topic in your next lesson. How would you introduce this topic in the most effective way to your students? Pick any one topic from below. Now, this is an example. So, industrialization, print revolution, or socialism. So this is the last section of your TPO paper. Now, I think a question a lot of you all might be having now after going through analysis that we've done for the social science question and of the verbal evaluation question is, how do I prepare for the CENTA International TPO? So your one-stop shop for everything you need to prepare for the CENTA International TPO is the CENTA TPO resource page. And you can access this, and the link will be put up on the chat box. And you can go to this page where you'll see sample questions across subjects. So like the questions we have just discussed, you'll see many other questions just like those there, which you can attempt to answer and see how you can prepare for the TPO. You have live webinars on TPO special series. So here we pick concepts in special subjects, we pick concepts in pedagogy, and you can revise your concepts through these, because as we saw, these concepts are tested in your TPO, something like assessment as learning, Bloom's taxonomy. You can watch recorded webinars and other free learning resources where you can quickly do a revision of your concepts. There'll be guides to prepare for the CENTA International TPO and a curious corner where we'll be adding new resources every day. So you must come onto the page every day to see what's updated and what you can actually quickly start learning from today and revising for preparing for the TPO. And so there'll be many more coming here. So stay tuned.
Shivangi, maybe
Yes.
we can also give a quick demo, considering we have sufficient time now. Maybe we can also give a quick demo of the TPO resource page. So
Sure.
maybe I can present my screen and do that, and then we
Sure.
can move on.
Sure, Shruti. I'll just stop sharing my screen.
I hope my screen is visible. So, like Shivangi mentioned, this is the CENTA TPO resource page, which is your one-stop shop for everything you need to prepare for TPO. As you can see, there's a section which says what's happening live, and you can see all the webinars that are upcoming, and there's going to be more that's added every week in the live webinar section. You can go on and see the syllabus of different subjects that you have registered for. There's also sample questions for across subjects, right? So in these webinars, we just try to give you a quick snapshot. We want to make it interactive. We want all of you to be involved in the answering process, but you can also in your own time go ahead and pick the subject of your choice, and you can look at the sample questions across the various parts of the MCQ test. And this again is going on building, so we are adding more and more new subjects every week. There are basically, we have 34 tracks, right? We're trying to add all the tracks every day. We keep updating this, and every week it will be updated. Similarly, Curious Corner has a lot of resources like CENTA cards, CENTA standards, CENTA shorts, etc., that you should go ahead and explore. And also, there are very focused preparation material for CENTA TPO, like the test demo video on how the test experience actually is, what are the instructions to follow, the test, etc. And of course, testimonials from various people of what their experience of CENTA TPO has been and what it has meant to them. So yeah, would request all of you to go ahead to centa.org/TPO-resources, which is the same link that's available in the chat, and please do explore it today.
Also, now that you've seen the TPO page, I would request everyone to put it in the chat box if there's something more that they wish to see in the TPO resource page, and we'll be taking note of that. So please put your, whatever you wish for right now in the chat box.
Also, considering that we do have time, we would love to take up questions also, if any, about the TPO prelims, about any of the questions that you had, any doubts. So any questions you have, we can take up that right now. So please feel free to put your question on the chat. So, Jaspreet ma'am, you're saying you've participated in 2 seminars, you've not received the certificate. So, if you fill the feedback form, you may have received your record. And if you fill the feedback form but you've still not received it, would request you to write to us at team@centa.org, and we'll get back to you. So, Richa ma'am, good question. How can we know about the upcoming webinars and workshops? So, if you are signed up on My Center, you will be getting weekly emails of everything that's upcoming in terms of our webinars. As you know, every Thursday we have a webinar. Every Monday now we have the TPO special series. So, we'll have a webinar every Thursday, every Monday. To know more, you can just log on to you can sign up on m.centa.org, and I'm sure you will be receiving emails from CENTA about all of this. Or you can, if it's very specific to the TPO webinars, you can also go to the TPO resource page and you can see that you'll get details of the next webinar there. Rohit, sir, for senior secondary economics, yes, more resources will definitely be added. We also have an exclusive webinar which will only be addressing questions in senior secondary economics. Would request you to look out for that and please do attend it. Swarna ma'am, is there any resource for FLN on the website? So if you look at the free learning resources, yes, we do have a series of foundational literacy numeracy resources there. But if you specifically want something, please do write to us as well. We'll share the link to where it is on the My CENTA page. But yes, we do have learning resources on FLN in the CENTA page, My CENTA page. So Shukla Goswami, ma'am, also I'm not sure. So you're asking to suggest some secondary school geography books. So I'd like to say that our TPO test, everything like all of it is, board agnostic, as we would like to say it. So it's not specific to either CBSE, ICSE, or state. It's basically agnostic of both, but we have tried to keep a good balance across boards. So there isn't any textbook as such that we would recommend, and even if yes, it's basically the school textbooks itself. So, and just depth in the concepts that's covered in the school textbooks. I think that would help you, do well in the TPO. Pooja ma'am, you're saying you've opted for primary English TPO, but you did not receive any link. I would request you to write to team at centa.org. I will also personally ensure the relevant person reaches out to you. I've made a note of your name. We'll definitely ensure you get a response from the team. Okay. I can see that done with the questions. Any more specific questions for TPO or the TPO resource page? And also coming back to Shivangi's point of what are some things you would like to see in the TPO resource page? We just shared the page with you. We've shared the link for you to go to the page. Now, would love to hear your ideas of what could be interesting to have in the TPO resource page. Rohit Kumar sir, for example, said more resources on senior secondary economics. That's an input we have taken. Any more inputs? So Rohit sir, courier hard copies, we are in post-COVID era, so we are trying to move away from, hard copies as much as possible. So thanks for your suggestion, but doubtful. Kartika ma'am, are you still giving digital batch for TQ this year? Yeah. So the criteria has always been the same. You need to score 50% and above. In the 50 and above, that should be your score. TQ score should be 50 and above for you to be eligible for a digital batch. Okay, still looking forward for responses on what can we add to the TPO resource page. So you saw the page. Do you want me to share the page again? I can. Would love to hear your thoughts on what can we add to the TPO resource page. What do you think will be useful for you on this page? So there's the live webinar series. You can see the syllabus, sample questions. There's a curious corner. To know more about the curious corner, you need to be curious and come here. And then there's the focused preparation for CENTA TPO. And of course, testimonials from teachers across the world who have taken the TPO in the past. And this works seamlessly on mobile as well. So you can log on to this link on your mobile itself and access it. You don't need to just do it on a laptop, but it works on desktop, laptop as well. So, Uma ma'am, answering your question, Uma Joshi ma'am, yes, the TPO, I'm very, very happy to say that we have several tracks in Hindi this year in TPO. We have middle school, I think we have secondary Hindi, primary Hindi, secondary Hindi, and middle school Hindi as well. So, let me just confirm that for you, but we do have multiple tracks in Hindi this year. So, would request you to go to the TPO page and sign up. So we have, yes, primary school Hindi, middle school Hindi, secondary and senior secondary, high school Hindi, 3 tracks. So Naveen sir, I think the link is not clickable. You will have to, maybe we should just directly paste a link without the feedback form hyphen and then it can be clickable. Gargi ma'am, point noted, resources on political science. Got it. So I would like to highlight it though that political science on its own is not a track in TPO. So we don't have political science on its own as a track. We do have secondary school history, secondary school geography, middle school social science, and senior secondary school geography. And there's of course senior secondary economics as tracks. Political science is not a track, independent track in itself. Okay, so we are at 5:47 now. In 3 minutes, we still have a 10-minute time window, but I think we'll close. So Nidhi ma'am, for your question on sharing the link in advance so that you can fill it hassle-free, the feedback form, that's not something we do because we want people to attend the whole session and then fill the feedback form, which is why we wait till towards the end of the session to share the feedback form. But thank you for your suggestion. Great question, Jaspreet ma'am. Yes, very happy to say that we do have a webinar on for primary. We have 2 webinars. One is purely on English, which will address tracks or questions across primary, middle, secondary, senior secondary. We will also have another webinar just like the social science one, which is purely for primary school teachers, which means it will cover primary school English, math, and EVS or language. Language can be English or Hindi. We offer it in both tracks, so we will have a separate session for that. Thank you, Meena ma'am. So Nidhi ma'am, in terms of workshop for gamification, so in our Thursday webinars, we do have a lot of interesting topics that keep coming up. And we did have one on artificial intelligence a while ago, and rather I think AR, artificial augmented reality. Yes, that's the one we had. So maybe you can go to our CENTA YouTube channel and check out some of the past webinars. Thank you, Rachna ma'am, for your input. Resources on senior secondary school geography. Don't worry, that's definitely a track that we're going to add to our sample questions very soon. And syllabus, we will ensure we keep updating the TPO resource page with all of these tracks. Savita ma'am, similarly to your question for primary computer, so we don't have a primary computer track. We have one track called computer science, which will have questions across beginner, middle, intermediate. So it will have questions across computer science. We don't have a separate track called primary computer. Pooja ma'am, the primary school webinar, when it will be sometime soon in December, I think. The exact date, it's not scheduled yet, but if you go to the TPO resource page, which we just shared the link, right, you can find it there and you'll also get emailers whenever there is if you are a subscribed member of my center, you will get emails of when the next, when the webinar is on primary English. But we will update that quickly, very soon for you. Great. Thank you so much for all your questions, everyone. I think it was very, very useful and good that we got this forum to answer some of your questions. Yeah, Shivangi, anything you would like to say, and then you can close it.
No, thank you everyone for your inputs, and we've actually noted them, and we will be updating our resource page accordingly. Thank you. Thank you, Shruti.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great evening, rest of the evening, and take care. Stay safe. See you all in the next webinar, which is next Monday, and or in Thursday webinar. So on Thursday then.